economic, social, and political, with flagship projects spanning transport infrastructure, energy, ICT, manufacturing, education, and governance reforms. With 3 years to go, the government is now laying the foundation for the country's next long-term development agenda.
Let us approach this task with confidence, humility, and a shared purpose, determined to leave to the future generations not merely a stable economy, but a stronger nation.
President William Ruto has on Tuesday afternoon received the draft blueprint, which was developed by a team led by Kisumu Governor Professor Anyang' Nyong'o, Professor Michael Chege, Professor Karuti Kanyinga, and Professor Peter Wanyande.
As government, we shall now study this proposal carefully. We shall engage with its recommendations, consult widely, reflect on the ideas this proposal advances, and once that process has been concluded, I will communicate the way forward as we shape Kenya's next long-term national vision.
The report proposes strategic investments in key sectors including education, where increased government support for university students has been identified as a priority, alongside expanded investments in the energy sector to support industrialization and economic growth.
Going forward, any university, any student, so long as they have passed their exam and they have been placed in a college or a university, each one of them will get full funding for their higher education. It will be the choice of parents if they want to pay. But if parents don't want to pay, we now have a model that will pay for every child.
The new vision seeks to catapult Kenya into a first world economy by the year 2060 through investment in strategic sectors.
This great country of ours can become a first world country in our generation. It is doable. Play your part.
President Ruto has urged Kenyans to embrace the proposed vision, saying national progress will depend on collective commitment and confidence in the country's potential.
The next chapter of Kenya's development cannot be written by government. It must be shaped by the collective wisdom, experience, and participation of the Kenyan people.
Well, that was on Tuesday at State House when President William Ruto received that detailed blueprint or roadmap on how to develop Kenya's next socioeconomic development blueprint, or what a lot of people are calling the Vision 2060. Bearing in mind that the Vision 2030, which was developed back in the year 2008, is approaching the end of its life in about 3 years from now. And one of the architects of that document is here with me. That is none other than Professor Michael Chege. He was there during the drafting of the Vision 2030 back in the year 2007. And he's also being involved in the drafting of Kenya's next long-term vision. I don't know whether to call it Vision 2055, Vision 2060, or Vision whatever. That will be decided at some point. He's joining us right here on Inside Government. Good afternoon and thank you for joining us. My name is O'Brien Kimani. You know this is Inside Government and we are live from Broadcasting House. Professor, thank you very much indeed, and we are honored to have you.
Thank you. I'm pleased to be here.
Yes. Theomithis, I mean, you were heavily involved in the drafting of the Vision 2030 back in the year 2007, 2008. And that was during President Mwai Kibaki's the late administration. What was the vision behind the vision?
Well, the vision behind the vision at that time was this. The economy had literally ground down to a halt by 2002, negative GDP growth per capita. Kenyans became disillusioned, and that's why they voted for NAC. And the idea was you have to have inspiration. Professor Peter Anyang' Nyong'o, who led the committee and the task force that I was involved in, that reported to the president last week, was then Minister of Planning, and he worked with a team of experts to prepare a recovery program, which we call ARS, Economic Recovery Program for Kenya. From 2002 to 2008, you saw economic recovery. and GDP growth rising from 3% to 3 to 7, 8% in 2007.
Yeah.
A record. Economic recovery achieved. Then the question is, what do we go to next?
Mm-hmm.
And it was decided by international advisors, by the government itself, by President Mwai Kibaki, by the cabinet, by Kenyans in business and in trades and in professions, all-round consultation, that we should aim at being a middle-income, rapidly industrializing country alongside the Southeast Asian model by the year 2030. So that is what motivated the optimism of 2007, 2008. That is what motivated the production of Vision 2030 as a development blueprint.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, at that time, there was a realization that, haphazard development, was not going to deliver this nation into a first world or into a highly a developing country with high incomes.
Yeah.
And so that's why there was a call that we need to come up with a well-structured, well-defined socio-economic development document. And that's how Vision 2030 was born. How many years later? Almost 20 years later.
Yeah.
When you look at the journey that we have covered with Vision 2030, do you see it pretty? Do you feel that we have done okay?
It's mixed. It's a very mixed record. In some ways, and Kenyans don't see that very often, the country has done exceedingly well. If you look at an indicator called the Human Development Index,
yes,
which is constituted by the United Nations Development Program, which looks at the human development as a whole. It's not just incomes and housing and access to electricity or those material side, but also welfare, health, and education. Kenya has made a dramatic jump to high middle human development index because our education literacy levels are among the highest in the developing world now. Even longevity, despite COVID and despite HIV, is still the achievements have been quite high, and income levels have grown. That is looking at human development as a whole. So, but if you look at industrialization, which we pledge ourselves to be a middle-income, rapidly industrializing country, you think about Indonesia, Singapore in the 60s, 70s, and you think of Malaysia and Thailand, we're not there. We have not achieved the strides in manufacturing and industrialization that we envisioned. And this was supposed to be the real gateway to resolving the problems of youth unemployment. We're getting close to 1 million young people out of our schools every year.
Yeah.
Only 20% of them can get a job in the formal sector.
The rest, they find employment in the informal sector.
In the informal sector or not. That creates a very dangerous situation because the discontent that you saw in the case of the Gen Zs on the street is what you're saying, that you have a promise that was made to us by the country. We got the education that Kenya promised to us, but we are in a hopeless situation.
You're talking about the HDI development in Kenya, and it is true, even when you look at the per capita income, there has been marked difference. And we know that Vision 2030 was pegged on, were they 7 or 5 pillars?
There are 3 pillars, political, economic, and social. But in addition to that, there were flagship projects. One of those was the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport.
The development of the Greenfield Terminal.
Greenfield Terminal.
Unfortunately, it was the development of that was cancelled in 2016.
Yes. The Konza Technopolis.
Which is still under development.
The question of availability.
The Lapset Corridor as well.
Lapset Corridor.
The standard gauge railway.
Standard gauge railway, we're talking about electricity. Electricity available at economically advantageous by business, by manufacturing, to facilitate the kind of manufacturing we're talking about. And we're talking about urban planning. You can see Nairobi today and the chaotic manner in which it is growing. traffic, no public transport yet, whereas our neighbors have made, you look at Rwanda or Tanzania, tremendous progress in moving towards that direction, even Addis Ababa. Those are issues. We seem to have dropped the ball somewhere along the line in some areas.
When do you feel that, which year do you believe that we dropped the ball?
Well, first of all, if you look at what happened after 2007, 2008 coming on this way, having pledged ourselves to 7 to 10% GDP growth rate, we have failed consistently, with the exception of a few years like 2010 or even 2022, and that was after COVID. That can be explained that way. The fact is, we never went anywhere close to the goals of GDP overall growth. If you want to get where the Asian countries, where China, which you're talking about, is, you have to make sure that you're doing over 70% consistently over 30 years.
10%.
10%.
Or 7%,
average,
you say?
Yeah,
on average of 7% for 30 years.
Minimum 7%.
And our average has been about 5%?
5% since 2008.
So we've been failing with about 2 basis points every year.
Every year, missing the target.
Missing the target.
And what happens is that if you do 7%, you double GDP growth every 10 years.
You double the GDP?
Yes. And if you do it in the next 20 years from now, it means to be quadruple. For the year 30, it will be quadruple times, it will be like 8 times the size of what it is now. That's basically stated in simple statistical terms what China did.
A quick one. When you look at the size of the Kenyan economy back in the year 2008, when we were launching Vision 2030, and you look at the size of the Kenyan GDP today, do we have any difference? Have we grown? Have we retarded?
Definitely, O'Brien.
Have we doubled?
5% is not to be laughed at. It's there. It's not stellar, but it could be worse. It could be where we were in the 1990s.
Negative growth.
Yeah, negative per capita GDP. So we have been having a population growth of 3%, GDP growth of 5% average. So we're moving in the right direction, but rather slowly and missing the target consistently. That is where the failing is.
Missing the targets.
Consistently. For nearly 2 decades now. And that is one of the most discouraging things about development planning in this country, and about what the governments have done to respond to it. Because there are important projects and programs that were envisioned in 2030, Vision 2030, that simply weren't implemented.
For example?
Well, the Greenfield Terminal in the JKIA is
and
one.
that's why we're having a challenge with the JKIA today.
Yes, and also the problem Kenya Airways, whether it's KQ should run the airport or KPA. So issues like that. And then they call the Technopolis. We had a head start in the putting up the Silicon Savannah. We only now again coming around to it now. We realize you lost something like 20 years. Other countries have moved and taken what we had planned for Kenya and done it themselves. If you talked about the airport, I was talking about Bishoftu, which is 60 miles south of Addis Ababa.
In Ethiopia.
Bole, as it is now one of the biggest airport hubs in sub-Saharan Africa. The airport they're constructing at Bishoftu, $12 billion, will be the largest airport in Africa when it's completed. And the constructors are already in place.
And they are moving very fast.
Moving fast, and it's not just a hub for international air transport, it's also a city.
On its own.
Because the people are coming in and out. And also a tourism center, because by the way, they're close to the Rift Valley and to wildlife there too. They're taking that advantage, learning from us, because we're talking about that possibility.
And this is a
1920.
brand new airport away from Bole International Airport.
Complete 60 miles.
And
south.
today, Bole is much bigger than Nairobi, than Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. In terms of passenger capacity.
Passenger throughput, yes.
Even terminal development.
And terminal development, and if you look at the fleet of Ethiopian Airways,
oh Lord.
and compare,
You don't want to talk
yes,
about
and
that.
they're adding on to that. As a result of that, I was saying, Boeing, which is in Seattle, have selected Ethiopia and Addis Ababa to be the center and the hub of the operations in Middle East and Africa, not just in service, but also in spare parts, training, and the beginning of manufacturing. That's how these things get done. And they're working hand in hand with the Ethiopian Airlines. As it expands, so does Boeing. 20 years ago to 30 years ago, Nairobi would have been the absolute first choice for this sort of operations. Mm-hmm. So we are seeing a situation in which the international architecture of development is changing, of foreign investment, of operators, and even in the region. The countries that used to look up to Kenya with awe, because they're not there, are doing things we failed to do and getting ahead of us.
It's quite a sad situation, you know, that we had a head start. And when and I like the fact that you're talking a lot about Ethiopia, because everyone is talking about Ethiopia and what they have managed to do in the last 8-7 years. And you see the transformation is real, is tangible in Addis Ababa. From new road, sewer system, proper lighting system, light rail system, you know, that's moving thousands of people every day. And when you look at Nairobi, Nairobi had a head start, bearing in mind that it is the only city in the South Pole with a UN headquarters here in Gigiru, about 15 kilometers from where we are.
That's right.
But even when you look at infrastructure getting to that place, it's terrible.
It is.
Addis Ababa is taking the crown from Nairobi as the Africa's diplomatic hub as we watch.
Yeah.
Addis Ababa is taking the crown from Nairobi as the aviation hub in Africa. But is there anything we can do to retain and maintain our position here in Africa?
There are some things which I think people in Kenya need to know, and that is, don't hype and forget the areas in which Kenya is still ahead. Put that category on one side, then look at areas where we are lagging and where we are likely to be overtaken. Per capita GDP of Kenya is $2,500 about.
Yeah.
That of Ethiopia is 1,000. So they still got a lot of catching up to do.
That is per capita GDP.
Yeah, per capita GDP.
Because their population is almost 120 million people.
Yeah, compared to us. So they're still poorer compared to us. Ditto when you look at those human development indicators that I was telling you about. And Kenyans ought to be proud of the fact that they've achieved as much as they have. We have put in a lot of investment in this country since independence into education. Education more than any other sector is what has taken our public funds into.
Yeah.
Okay, but let's look at it this way. Areas in which Kenya will lag behind and risk being caught, urban planning, like you've just said, the capital city of this country is a shambles, is shambolic. Actually, if you consider when BBI was being advocated, one of the clauses was to bring the capital city back to the national government in the way that Washington D.C. is not under any state. It's a federal capital. And there's Brasilia and Brazil. This is what we had in mind, but BBI fell out and the idea has not. But in the meantime, what is happening is that the city is growing very fast, population-wise. And it's shambolic. And what happens in City Hall in this country is scandalous in terms of it generating an internal capacity to manage the city, to make and host international institutions and be a competitor with international institutions and cities of its size. And that needs to be done. It was there in Vision 2030. Remember, there was Nairobi Metropolitan Authority. And it was to take Nairobi and the surrounding counties, because the population grows in sync. And people move from one part of the city to the other to go to work, for relaxation, housing, etc. The plans were there. They were abandoned again. And that's an issue that we have to look into. And we're saying that because, as was said on Tuesday morning, Kenya will be 50% urban in 2050.
And 2050 is 23 years from now.
And we're mostly young people. And again, can you afford to have cities like this?
And the answer is no.
With no planning and without sources of livelihoods and without proper planning so that people can get jobs of the kind and quality they want. This is something that we really have to, no. And this is the last chance, because by 2050, going on to 2060, Kenya's population will begin to age. There will be more older people and fewer younger people.
You're likely to get to where Japan is today.
Yeah, to begin to get where Japan is.
The median age is likely to be 50.
Exactly. Getting close to that, maybe 45, but that's moving. You can imagine, you can't have that in a situation where everything is informalized. Everything is being done on the street, where there's no proper planning of anything, and where you can actually drive like the borders in Kenya, anywhere you want, anyhow you want, anywhere you want, any way you want, anyhow you want, and get away with it.
You see, we are seated here and we're discussing Kenya's long-term economic development, and I must appreciate the fact that you're very passionate about this topic.
Yeah.
And when you look at the policies that we have in place, the caliber of our political class, are we architectured in a way that we can get to where you're describing?
I think we still can move in the right direction if we start with what the president has stated. And you have to take him at his word, because he said no. For the long-term prospects of this country, whether it is this government or another one that is going to come in place, whatever, in the future, the issue is going to be the same. So let us start working on it now. And this country has a history of picking up programs and plans and moving very fast and very quickly. Look at M-Pesa, for example.
Yeah.
See? And if you look at what happened in the 60s, tourism was not a critical sector of this country, right? Safaris and safari culture were known. But taking tourism as a part of the service sector to drive the economy, generate jobs, foreign income and all of that, that is prior 60s coming out of you mentioned about the UN headquarters and international conferencing and business processes offshoring in here. These are things that were started here and they work for. I believe that if we work together, national government, counter governments, thinkers in government and out of government, because there are Kenyans with very good ideas all over the place. You have to put this in sync and see how it moves ahead in harmony. This is what Southeast Asian countries did more than anything else, planning and being faithful to your plans. Every 5 years, you make sure that you assess where you are and see how close you got to your goals. And if you didn't, then what happened? And you begin that by looking at the 7%, 10% growth rate level every quarter and ask yourself, why did it happen? Here in this country, when the Minister for Cabinet Secretary for Treasury Planning presents the economic survey every May and says we missed the target or we did 4.5%, it's just an item in the news. Nobody asks, we are intending, for the purposes of giving young people in this country jobs and a proper expectations of livelihood, we missed the target. Who is responsible? Why did we drop the ball? We have to be better at putting forward questions like that.
We have normalized failing to meet our goals, and nobody is held responsible.
Yeah.
We have an opportunity now to get up and dust ourselves and embark on what I would call a speed marathon.
That's correct.
And the president last year in December gave you, yourself as Professor Michael Chege, Professor Wanyande, Karuti Kanyinga,
And Professor Anyang Nyong'o was chair.
Professor Anyang Nyong'o as the chair.
Yeah.
He gave you a very onerous task, a big assignment of reimagining Kenya in the next 20, 30 years.
Yeah, that's correct.
And coming up with a framework that is going to help us develop a new vision. Because Vision 2030 is retiring in the next 3 years. And I must applaud ourselves because, yes, we have realized the vision is elapsing and we need a new vision. How has it been? And when you presented that document to the president, what is contained in that document?
Well, what he asked for was, please give us a guide onto how we prepare a long-term plan that overcomes the handicaps of the past and gives us, as you said, a head start in this marathon, so that when we start here, we wind up being a modern, high-income industrial country like the first world countries of today. That was simply the mandate, and that is what that document contains. Therefore says, here is where we pledged ourselves to be in 2008, here is where we are, here is what we need to do, here is what went wrong, and here is what you need to do to change the situation. And then you stipulate on the basis of our own experience in Kenya, because there have been phases in which we have actually done pretty well. If you look at GDP growth in Kenya and the human development indicators from 64 to about 80, they were every bit as good as those of our Southeast Asian comparators. If you look at what happened between 2003 to 2008, again the same. We go up, down. That is a tragedy, instead of upwards consistently for 30 years.
Yeah.
So, and also it points out in that document the key sectors that you ought to focus on. And in particular, it focuses on problems of institutional efficacy, decency, integrity. Integrity, sort of corruption is part of integrity and fortitude and a capacity to deliver what is promised in the public sector, but also the private sector. Foreign investment in huge amounts. Because people in Kenya have learned to forget, unfortunately, that development, when it works best, is private sector investment driven.
Yeah.
Including foreign investment income, because those factories, those businesses will generate the jobs our young people want, and that is what they're asking for.
I haven't managed to go through the entire document, but I know it is modeled along on 3 key pillars.
Yes.
One of them is agriculture. The other one is innovation.
Innovation, technology.
And technology. And the other one is political.
Yeah, political reform.
Political
and
reform.
institutional reform.
I want you to take 2 minutes and take us through what you aspire in the 3 pillars.
The first one, without any doubt, was the political commitment of political leaders, regardless of party. That you're going to be consistent on this path for the period of 30 years. If you don't, we have a Holocaust. We have hell at the other end. That's what countries like Taiwan and South Korea and so on,
of these
that
world.
consistency across the electoral cycles has to be maintained. So when you talk about political commitment, that's one. The other one is the institutions that perform the way they in the public service, the way they perform. Lee Kuan Yew, and you're talking about Singapore a lot, said the most important aspect of Singapore miracle was the efficiency and lack of corruption in public service, so that it delivers. Public service jobs in Singapore earn you a better salary than the private sector.
Yeah.
But they are damn competitive to get into. You have to be exceedingly good by international standards to get that job.
You must pick the best.
And you must be evaluated at the end of the year by your output. If it's good, you get a bonus, the same way people in the banking sector do if the stock appreciates in the course of the year. So we're talking about
and that's the reason why the government developed performance appraisals.
And which have been abandoned. In Kenya, your staff appraisals in Kibaki years, early years. So we need to go back to that, as well as recruitment. On merit, get the very best. If you have to get them out of Kenya, so much the better. But get the best people for the job so that it gets done. There's a lot of work that is done in this country by people who are not qualified to be doing it. So I think if you look at that document, that is being given more prominence at the top than any other.
The president is very committed about
Very
that.
committed. And then, of course, there's a question of security and rights. We have a constitution, and it's been praised rightly. And it is part of that commitment to make sure institutional effectiveness is. Then agriculture. Agriculture in every one of those countries, and rapid growth in agriculture is always a starting point. Agriculture provides you with food, at low and affordable cost, and also sources of raw materials that are being processed by industries. And it's important, by the way, because as agricultural productivity goes up, you need fewer people on the land. That is the beginning of movement to the cities, to industries, and in housing, for planning, like you said, seeing now in Ethiopia, and also manufacturing, which they're also trying to do out there. And we also tried here in EPZs, but again, that's one of the projects we abandoned. How can we abandon EPZs? We have the US market as it is under AGOA, and it's not just textiles. Why aren't we doing furniture? Why can't we do assembly of medical equipment and all these other things which are...
There are more than 100 products that we can export
under AGOA.
Under AGOA. I think we're doing about 10.
Yeah, and very similar project. In 2024, we signed with the EU a partnership agreement which opens that market to anything but arms. Quota-free, duty-free. Vietnam, which pays duties to get into that market, is doing 20, 30 times
the size of
Ask ourselves why it is that they're able to do that and see what lessons we can learn from that. And the same thing with China, because it is duty-free access that has been given to African countries.
Prof, before we call it an afternoon, I want to hear from you. At the end of it all, because I know this document, the guidelines that you developed, are going to be subjected to what we call stakeholders engagement. Briefly, I want to hear from you. At the end of it all, what do you want to see contained in the final draft?
Well, what will be contained in the final draft, and this is what President Ruto is saying, will be a collective resolve of all Kenyans, regardless of party, regardless where they are, that will say we as Kenyans are not in the business of quitting, whether it is a marathon abroad or even growth in the past. And we want to resume the path of rapid growth that delivers to the needs of ordinary Kenyans for once. And we do not want to be looking across our borders for best examples. We want to go back to where we are at the lead, and not just at the lead, but to where by 2060, we'll be looking at a Kenya which nobody can recognize, because it will be a country of first world or close to first world standards for most of its ordinary Kenyans. That is what we want to look at the bottom, look at the ordinary Kenyans, look at their welfare. That is the target. That is who we are aiming this plan to be.
And of course, it's good to remind people that 2060 is about 33 years from now.
That's right.
It's not very far.
No.
A kid that is born today will be 33 years in 2060. Is there anything else you would want to tell us?
One thing that you have to look at, and Kenyans don't seem to realize this very well, is that with the population growth rate of the kind we've been having, total fertility rates declining, getting close to 3 or thereabouts. By 2050, Kenya will begin the process of aging, where the preponderant amount of the population is towards the older age. We cannot have a population that is beginning the aging process in 2050 with informal sector driven employment, with the kind of disorganized urbanization that you're seeing at the moment. That will not be a country anybody wants to aspire to. We have to make some very hard and difficult decisions today. And as you say, some of our neighboring countries, people go to, too many Kenyan leaders go to Rwanda or to Singapore or Malaysia and so on. All that information is available online. All that information is available in our libraries. And we are graduating students in the University of Nairobi and elsewhere who know the solutions. The issue is to get down and do it right, and not to repeat the past mistakes.
And we have to do it.
Yep.
Well, Prof, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much, O'Brien.
And Kenyans have listened to you.
Yeah.
And let's do it.
We'll do it.
Very good. And thank you for your passion.
Thank you.
To making this Kenya great.
Thank you, sure.
Very good. I mean, Professor Michael Chege is an economic development lecturer at the University of Nairobi. He's also a member of a task force formed by the president last year to develop guidelines on how to craft a new socio-economic development for Kenya, a document that is going to outlast Vision 2030, which is just about 3 years from now before it elapses. You know, the whole point is this. This country will not be developed by politicians. This country will not be developed by the public service or the private sector. This country will be developed by all of us, regardless of which party you support, regardless of your political or religious viewpoint. It will take all of us, dedicated, disciplined, and focused, because at the end of it all, this is our only home. You have been watching Inside Government. We're coming to the end of this conversation this afternoon. Thank you very much indeed for your time. We do this again next Friday, same time, right here on KBC Channel 1 with me, O'Brien Kimani. Thank you and have a good afternoon.
Tunatambulika kwa mandhari yetu ya kuvutia,
tamaduni zetu, ukarimu wetu, vyakula vyetu, uchapakazi,
na pia kwa sauti tofauti za watangazaji wetu waliobobea.
Dibengo niko hapa aka upcoming sponsor. Bila shaka hapa ni kama PDG, ma deep state pia vile cartels.
Tunaenzi talanta za pwani, tunakuza talanta za hapa kwetu nyumbani.
Tell a friend to tell a friend. Tuko mjengoni kama kawa na wanangu wengine wawili.
Usikose kutegea 103.1 Pwani FM, station ambayo itakupa fursa ya kupata uhondo kamili wa pwani na kuleta Wakenya pamoja.
Pwani FM, tafrija ya kipwani.
Rodriguez. That was a brilliant save from Conlan. Was comfortably gathered by the goalkeeper. Now Ghana.
it is time for humanity to step up and live up to its most basic mandate, and that is to protect life on Earth, the integrity of our planet's vital systems, and make the world more, not less, livable.
Stretching from the bustling shores of Mombasa, through the serene creeks of Kilifi to the rich mangrove forests of Lamu, a quiet but powerful transformation is taking root. A story of restoration, a story of resilience, a story of climate action. For years, Kenya's mangrove ecosystems have faced growing pressure, overharvesting, coastal development, pollution, and the rising impacts of climate change. But these unique forests are more than just trees by the sea. They are natural barriers against storms, carbon sinks that absorb emissions, nurseries for fish, and lifelines for coastal communities. When mangroves disappear, the coastline becomes more vulnerable. So, do the people who depend on it. In response, the government of Kenya, in partnership with local communities, conservation groups, and youth organizations, is leading a bold mangrove restoration drive aligned with the National Climate Action Plan. Across the coast, thousands of hectares are being rehabilitated through structured replanting, protection of degraded zones, and community-led conservation efforts. This is not just planting trees. It is rebuilding ecosystems. It is restoring livelihoods. It is investing in the future. From fishermen who understand the sea's changing moods, to women's groups nurturing seedlings in community nurseries, and youth volunteers mapping degraded areas using digital tools, restoration is becoming a shared mission. Because at the heart of climate action is people, and at the heart of mangrove restoration is community ownership.
Nilichagua kupanda mikoko kwa sababu inahifadhi mazingira ya baharini. Alafu pia ukiangalia upandaji wa mikoko, yani si upandaji wa mikoko. Mikoko ilikatwa mingi sana. Kwa hiyo ndo tukaamua, tukashikana sisi wanajamii, watu kama 74, tukaka kikundi, tukaamua tupande mikoko ili kuhifadhi mazingira ya baharini. Ndani ya miaka 5 ijayo, tunatarajia mazingira yetu yawe mazuri, alafu kila penye pengo lilokatwa liwe tumelifili. Kwa kuna hayo mambo na kuwa mikoko iliharibiwa nini, yani kwa sababu hii mikoko inatupa, kwanza ndio inatupa mvua, ina mazalio ya samaki, alafu pia inazuia mmomonyoko wa ardhi, alafu pia inanyonya wachafu. Ndio sababu tuliamua ndani ya miaka 5 hizo shida zote ziwe hakuna. Ndio tukajipanga kupanda hii mikoko ili kuhifadhi mazingira yetu ya baharini.
Sasa umuhimu wa mikoko ni kama hivyo, mazingira ya samaki, mazalio ya samaki. Mikoko ni dawa, yale majani yake yale pia ni dawa. Kwa mfano, kuna mtu kama umeshikwa na homa sana, kuna mkoko mwingine unakata yale majani yale, yanachemshwa yale, ukajiogesha. Ama kama macho yako yana tabu yale majani pia kuchemsha, unaosha uso, pia yale macho yanakuwa yanapata nafuu kuangalia. Alafu mkoko huu nimekwambia ni unapata pondo, wavuvi wanachukua pondo zile za kupelekea kanuu. Alafu mkoko huu ni kuni, firewood. Wakina mama kama zimekauka wanachukua kuni, wanaenda kuchoma, wanaruhusiwa, yani kama ukoko kama umekauka lakini sio mbichi. Alafu mkoko huu kuna unaitwa mkoko wenyewe huo. Unapasuliwa ule katika zile teo zile za kupetea mahindi zile. Unafungwa kwa ile teo, kama ushaona uteo ule. Ile kando ile laini yake ni mkoko ule. Wengine wanatumia mkoko, wengine wanatumia miti. Lakini sasa huu ni mzuri kwa huo. Kwa hiyo nini hiyo mkoko. Na ujenzi pia iko kujenga, tunajengea, lakini sasa nao pako upate idhini ndio uje ukatele miti, na kuna kupasua hiyo mbao. Kama mtu umekwamaa au tunaangalia umekwamaa, unakatwa, lakini kupitia karatasi kutoka kwa ofisi. Uende ukakate, upasue, alafu sasa tukimaliza kupasua, tukitoa umoja tunapanda. Yani ile placement tukitoa umoja tunapanda hivi.
His Excellency the President has outlined through his manifesto that one thing that we really need to do is to increase our forest cover and also the tree cover in this country. We are currently aware that the forest cover is below the 10%, which is required by the law or the Constitution of Kenya. And in the next 10 years from since 2022, by the year 2032, we should be able to have planted over 15 billion trees that will be able to bring about 30% of our forest cover in the country. And as a country, we have different ecosystems. We have terrestrial ecosystems that are actually found up in the islands, and then we have now the coastal region where we also need to do a lot of habitat restoration, and this is actually through the mangrove planting. And today, as a State Department, we have come to ensure that we do about 10,000 trees or other mangrove growing within this area. This is actually our first round. We are going to come back again to ensure that we really do as much as possible in terms of covering a wider area of our habitat. The reason why we talk about mangrove protection and restoration is because mangrove plays a major role in terms of habitat ecosystem, this ecosystem, because for one, we are aware that most of these mangrove are found along the coastal region, and therefore what it does, because of its rooting system, will just reduce a lot of erosion. We are aware that a lot of water comes from the up in the terrestrial part, bringing a lot of silt and many other things. So while it is reaches just before it actually goes to the sea, what it does, it reduces the speed, and therefore issues of soil erosion is reduced. Number two, the mangrove does a lot of purification of our water that actually enters into the sea or the oceans, because the rooting system does a lot of work in terms of cleaning it, so that we can have good water. It purifies it. All of issues to do with the pollution, the poison that comes along with water is actually removed by the rooting system of the mangrove.
Mombasa has an area of 4,233.15 of forest cover. This forest cover has a degradation of around 40%. Now it is our duty to rehabilitate these areas, because this is one of one intervention areas of the 11 intervention areas of the 15.7 billion trees planting by 2032. So we have one of our partners today, the State Department of Wildlife, who have come up in hand to help us deal with these degraded areas. We have more other partners who have also come in to help us, and we are calling upon more of them to come so that we'll conserve this area. We'll have the benefits of this because mangroves are believed to sequestrate carbon 4 times more than the terrestrial forest. So when we have a lot of forest here, we have actual benefits of removing the carbon from the atmosphere. That's one of our challenges of changam brewing in these areas, and also people who do illegal harvesting. What we do is that we approach it in a multi-agency approach, so that we involve everybody, the girls, the communities. We have a community forest association, a very vibrant one, the Mombasa Kiridin CFA. And when we join hands. KFS cannot go it alone. So that is why we discuss this in security meetings, sub-county, the county meeting, so that we do a joint approach, so that we, at least even if it doesn't go complete, at least we minimize to a bare minimum.
This effort is anchored in national climate commitments, including Kenya's ambition to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and strengthen nature-based solutions. Mangroves play a critical role in blue carbon ecosystems, absorbing carbon at rates far higher than many terrestrial forests. Protecting and restoring them is therefore not just environmental stewardship, it is climate strategy. Each seedling planted today becomes a shield for tomorrow, a buffer against rising seas, a sanctuary for marine life, a source of income for coastal households, and a living legacy for future generations. As Kenya advances its climate action agenda, mangrove restoration stands as a powerful symbol of what is possible when policy, science, and community come together. From Mombasa to Lamu, the message is clear. Restoring mangroves is restoring hope. And in every route that takes hold, Kenya strengthens its fight against climate change.
One day, while teaching an oral healthcare class, I saw a little boy who kept covering his mouth. It turns out he had lost some of his teeth and felt embarrassed. But as a hygienist, a child's smile means everything to me. That's why Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection unlocks 24-hour cavity defense, a formula boosted with calcium for lifelong smiles. Every child has the right to smile, and a beautiful smile is a healthy smile.
Colgate, #1 oral care brand in the world.
We're talking about autism, Down syndrome, ADHD, learning disabilities, cerebral palsy. So these are disabilities that most of the time don't look obvious.
On this week's episode, we are reminding communities that neurodiversity is not a deficit to be fixed, but rather a unique perspective to be understood, celebrated, and embraced.
Our medics need to be more understanding, more empathetic, more bold, because some of the times when I see the delivery of our diagnostics, you feel that I should have been handled better, I should have been told sooner.
One of the things that you really want as a parent is your child independence. So you might take it for granted, like every child is able to dress themselves, but a child with autism, those are some of the challenges that they face.
Join us on Able Differently this Saturday at 4 p.m. only on KBC Channel 1.
Get ready for a captivating continental football extravaganza. KBC Channel 1 brings you exclusive coverage of the 2026 Women's Africa Cup of Nations, WAFCON. From Sunday the 26th of July to Sunday the 16th of August 2026. Welcome to Morocco! Morocco is the battleground as Nigeria defend their title against 15 other nations fighting to lift the prestigious trophy. Who will be crowned Queens of African Football? Courtesy of the Ministry of Youth Affairs, Creative Economy and Sports. Watch all the action unraveling on KBC Channel 1, your true sports partner.
Marhaban bikum mtazamaji, salamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ni furaha iliyoje kuungana nayo tena ndani ya KBC Channel 1 kwenye kipindi cha Ukumbi wa Kiislamu, kipindi ambacho kinakukumbusha, kinakuelimisha na pia kukupatia faida nyingi kuhusiana na dini yako ya Kiislamu. Katika kipindi hichi tutakuwa na sehemu ya darsa kutoka kwa shekhe, tutakuwa na sehemu ya Tarikhul Islam na pia ipo sehemu ya nashid na Qur'an kutoka kwa wanafunzi wa madrasa. Mtazamaji, kwa sasa tupate makala ama sehemu ya darsa kutoka kwa Sheikh Athman Lali ambaye atakuwa anazungumzia mada inayosema kujitolea kabla ya kufanya ibada ya kuchinja. Je, jambo hili lina lipi la kuzingatiwa?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillahi wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah Muhammad bin Abdillahi wa ala alihi wa ashabi wa man tabi'ahum bi ihsani ila yawmiddin, amma ba'd. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa ahlul uqdata min lisani yafqahu qawli. Ndugu zangu Waislamu, baada ya kumhimidi Mwenyezi Mungu Subhanahu wa Ta'ala na kumsalia Mtume Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, kwa dakika hizi ambazo Mwenyezi Mungu atatujalia, tutazungumzia at-tadhhiya kabla al-udhiya. At-tadhhiya tunaelewa na udhiya vile vile tunaelewa. Haya ni maneno mawili ambayo yamefanana lakini yako na maana tofauti. At-tadhhiya kabla al-udhiya, kujitolea kabla ya kufanya ibada ya udhiya. Alhamdulillah, tulikuwa na ibada ya kuchinja katika siku za Eid na Waislamu wengi walichinja, lakini katika ibada kama ile kuna mafanikio na kuna malezi mengi na faida nyingi ambazo tunapata katika kitendo kama kile. Leo tutamzungumzia Mtume Ibrahim alayhi salatu wassalam, vile alivyojitolea katika Uislamu. Yale matatizo, mitihani ambayo Mtume Ibrahim alipitia, ndiyo tulinganishe na ile mitihani ambayo Mwenyezi Mungu anatupatia. Tuangalie, je, tumefika kiwango kama hicho ama hatujafika kiwango kama hicho. Tunaelewa ndugu zangu Waislamu, Mtume Ibrahim alayhi salatu wassalam alikuwa ni Khalilullah, kipenzi cha Mwenyezi Mungu. Allah anasema wattakhadha Allahu Ibrahima khalila, na Mwenyezi Mungu akamchukua Ibrahim akakuwa rafiki na kipenzi. Swali ambalo tunajiuliza ni vipi huyu Ibrahim Mwenyezi Mungu akamchagua kuwa kipenzi chake? Je, mimi na wewe ambao tunaangalia wakati huu, vipi tunafaa kufanya ili tuweze kupata nafasi kama hii ya kuwa vipenzi wa Mwenyezi Mungu Subhanahu wa Ta'ala? Hakika Ibrahim, ndugu zangu Waislamu, Ibrahim huyu alikuwa ni kiongozi ama alikuwa ndio hedi ya familia, na alikuwa ni imam na alikuwa ni kiegezo chema. Tunaelewa historia yake alipokuwa mdogo. Wakati alipokuwa mdogo, Ibrahim alayhi salatu wassalam alikuwa akiwaona watu wanaabudu masanamu, na mmoja ambaye walikuwa wanaabudu masanamu na kuyatengeneza ni baba yake Azar, na Mwenyezi Mungu ametaja jambo hilo ndani ya Qur'an. Lakini Ibrahim alayhi salatu wassalam hakuwa ni mwenye kufurahishwa, kwa sababu kwa ile fikra yake, kwa ile fahamu yake ndogo, alijua kuwa haya masanamu hayawezi kuwa Mwenyezi Mungu. Vipi watu wataabudu vitu ambavyo havina usaidizi wa kitu chochote? Tunaelewa, kukatisha mambo yasikuwe marefu, Ibrahim kama huyu, ndugu zangu Waislamu, akaweza kuyavunja yale masanamu. Tunaelezewa ikakuwa siku ile ya sikukuu, kila mmoja yuatoka yuaenda kwenda kutembea. Baba yake akamuuliza, kwa nini huendi? Ibrahim akasema, inni saqim, mimi ni mgonjwa. Baba, we nenda na watu wengine mukahafan, mimi ni mgonjwa, sisikii vizuri, wacha nipumzike. Lakini lengo lake Ibrahim ilikuwa anataka kwenda kuvunja yale masanamu ambayo watu wake akiwa baba yake anaabudu, ili kuwaonyesha hawa sio miungu, lazima kuna Mungu. Wakati huo alikuwa kijana mdogo, hakuwa anajua Mungu ni nani, lakini kwa fikra yake alijua hawa hawawezi kuwa Mungu, kwa sababu ni vitu ambavyo vimetengenezwa na mikono ya watu. Alipovunja yale masanamu, akamwacha yule mkubwa wao, akaweka shoka juu ya bega lake. Watu waliporudi wakapata masanamu yamevunjwa, wakasema, man faala hadha bialihatina, nani amefanya haya kwa miungu yetu? Anamuuliza Ibrahim. Ibrahimu akasema aliyefanya ni huyo mkubwa wao, sio mimi, kwa sababu lile shoka liko katika bega lake. Watu wake wale wakashangaa, wakajua huyu Ibrahimu anatucheza shere ama anatufanyia maneno ambayo hayako katika mambo ya kisawasawa. Nini wakasema? Mwenyezi Mungu anasema katika suratu Safat, a'udhu billahi minash shaitani rajim, qalu bunu lahu bunyana faalquhu fil jahim, wakasema tumjengee jengo, tujenge jengo kubwa kisha tuweze kumrusha katika moto. Anasema Salman bin Sardi, lamma aradu ilqa Ibrahimu fi nar, hawa watu walipotaka kumrusha Ibrahim katika moto, jalu yajmauna lahu alhatab, kwanza walikuwa wanakusanya zile kuni, hatta jalat almar'atu alajuz tahmilu ala dhahriha alhatab, mpaka yule mama mzee, yani hawakuacha mtu yoyote, hata yule mama mzee ilikuwa analazimishwa, nenda ubebe kuni, watakulu idhhab bihi ila hadha alladhi yadhkuru alihatina, nenda hizi na hizi kuni kwa huyu mtu ambaye anatutajia vibaya waungu zetu. Kwa hivyo kila mmoja katika mji kama ule aliweza kujumuika katika jambo kama lile la kumchoma Ibrahim alayhi salatu wassalam. Wakala Ibn Abbas anasema katika kitendo kama hiki cha kuchoma Ibrahim, banau lahu haitan min hijara, walimjengea ukuta wa mawe, tuluhu fi samai, urefu wake umeelekea mbinguni, 30 dhiraa, ikiwa na dhiraa 30. Yani walimjengea ukuta kabisa ndio wamuingize ndani waweze kumchoma vizuri. Wa ardhuhu 20 dhiraa, na upana wake ni dhiraa 20. Wa malau naran, na wakaujaza moto. Kabla hawajamrusha walijenga ukuta ambao juu yake urefu wake ni dhiraa 30, upana wake dhiraa 20, kisha wakaanza kujaza moto, yani kuwakisha moto kama ule, mpaka wakahakikisha moto kama ule unawaka vizuri sana. Watarahuhu fiha, kisha wakamrusha Ibrahim katika moto kama ule. Lakini Mwenyezi Mungu anasema katika suratul Anbiya aya 69, anasema kulna ya naru kuni bardan wa salaman ala Ibrahim. Mwenyezi Mungu akasema, ewe moto kuwa baridi na salama juu ya mtume Ibrahim. Hapa ndugu zangu Waislamu, Ibrahim alayhi salatu wassalam, huyu alipata mtihani mkubwa alipokuwa bado mdogo, mtihani ambao Mwenyezi Mungu subhanahu wa ta'ala alikuwa amemwandalia ili aweze kupatana na mtihani kama huu. Na mtihani mkubwa wenyewe ni nini? Ni wa kuingizwa katika moto ambao watu wake waliweza kumchoma, lakini Mwenyezi Mungu kwa uwezo wake moto kama ule haukuweza kumchoma. Kwa hivyo ndugu zangu Waislamu, tunaangalia vipi sisi tunaishi katika hii dunia na mitihani gani Mwenyezi Mungu anatupatia. Huyu Ibrahim Mwenyezi Mungu akamjalia mtihani mwingine, thumma ibtalahu Allahu fi zawjihi Hajar wa waladiha alwahid. Mwenyezi Mungu akampatia mtihani mkubwa kupitia mke wake Hajar na mtoto wake wa pekee. Tunaelewa ndugu zangu kuwa Ibrahim hakuwa na mtoto, alikaa miaka mingi, takriban miaka 80 na hana mtoto, lakini Mwenyezi Mungu akamjalia mtoto wa kiume ambaye anaitwa Ismail. Mtoto kama huyu ikakuwa ni mtihani kuanzia akiwa mdogo. Faamarahu bitarki ibnahu radhi, Mwenyezi Mungu akamwamrisha amuache mtoto wake aliyekuwa ananyonya. Walladhi jaahu ala kibar, mtoto ambaye alikuja kwa Ibrahim wakati Ibrahim akiwa katika umri wa uzee. Wa ummuhu biwadin ghayra dhi zar'in fi ardi muthbighatin dhatahu hawain wa hush, akamwamrisha amuache mtoto wake pamoja na mama yake katika jangwa ambalo halina matunda yoyote, yani ni jangwa ama desert ambao hakuna miti, hakuna maji. Ibrahim kama yule akaweza kumwacha mke wake huyu Hajar na mtoto wao Ismail. Mke kama yule akamuuliza Ibrahim, kwa nini unatuacha hapa? Na hili lilikuwa swali gumu kwa Ibrahim. Ibrahim akanyamaza. Mke kama yule akaanza kumweleza Ibrahim, akamuuliza, ndiyo Mwenyezi Mungu amekuamrisha? Akasema ndiyo, Mwenyezi Mungu ameniamrisha niwaache hapa. Yule mke akakuwa na iman, akasema kama Mwenyezi Mungu amekuamrisha, basi hatuwezi kupotea kabisa. Kwa hivyo hapa, ndugu zangu watazamaji, tunaangalia ile yakini na imani alikuwa nayo mke wake Ibrahim, Hajar. Alikuwa na imani kuwa Mwenyezi Mungu hawezi kumfedhehesha, na hii ndiyo inavyotakikana tuwe, ndugu zangu Waislamu. Ikiwa ahadi yoyote Mwenyezi Mungu ametuahidi ndani ya Qur'an, ama Mtume Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam ameelezea katika hadithi zake, basi tuwe na imani na yakini kama lile jambo litakuwa. Mtoto kama yule akawachwa, Ibrahim akaelekea alipoelekea. Mtoto kama yule akakuwa na kiu, akakuwa anajipiga, mama yake anaenda baina Safa na Marwa kutafuta chakula, kutafuta maji, lakini hakuna. Yule kijana katika hali ya kujipiga ile miguu yake, Mwenyezi Mungu akajalia maji akaanza kutoka, ndio yale maji leo tunakunywa ambayo yanaitwa maji ya Zamzam. Ndiyo Mwenyezi Mungu Subhanahu wa Ta'ala anasema albalaul mubin. Hii lilikuwa mtihani mkubwa sana ambao Ibrahim aliweza kupatiwa. Wewe unaacha mke wako, unaacha mtoto wako kwa ajili ya Mwenyezi Mungu, na hii ndiyo leo inapata watu wengi sana, ndugu zangu. Mara nyingi tunaacha wake zetu nyumbani, tunaacha watoto wetu kwenda kutafuta riziki. Wakati unapotoka pale nyumbani, wewe kuwa na imani kuwa Mwenyezi Mungu amenikabidhi hawa mke wangu, Mwenyezi Mungu amenikabidhi hawa watoto wangu, Mwenyezi Mungu naenda kuwatafutia riziki, na Mwenyezi Mungu inshallah ataweza kukufungulia. Mtihani mwingine ambao Ibrahim alayhi salatu wassalam alipatiwa ni kupitia huyu mtoto wake Ismail. Kama tulivyosema awali kuwa hakuwa na mtoto, alikuwa na huyu mtoto peke yake, lakini Mwenyezi Mungu alimpatia mtihani mkubwa, wa huwa tilka ruya allati raaha wa ruya salati wassalam wa ruya al-anbiya haq. Hii ni ile ndoto ambayo Ibrahim aliona, na ndoto za mitume, ndugu zangu, ni ndoto ya haki. Nini aliona? Annahu yadhbahu ibnahu alwahid Ismail alayhi salam. Aliweza kuona katika ndoto yake kuwa yeye anamchinja mtoto wake wa pekee Ismail. Nini lifanyika, ndugu zangu? Wa huwa alladhi jaahu baada an balagha min alkibari itiya. Huyu mtoto alipatiwa na Mwenyezi Mungu baada ya kuwa Ibrahim amefika umri wa uzee, ni mzee, anafurahi sana, anaanza kutembea na mtoto wake hapa na pale, mtoto wa kiume, lakini unakuja mtihani mkubwa sana kutoka kwa Mwenyezi Mungu. Wakati balagha maahu sayu, alifika ile wakati anatembea na mtoto wake, fasara yas'a fi masalihi abi wa yusaiduhu fi al-amal innahu laysa bil amri al-hayyin an yurzaka shakhsun fi shaykhukhatu ibna. Hakika sio jambo dogo, ndugu zangu. Mtu mkubwa anapatiwa mtoto katika umri mkubwa. Mtoto kama ule umeweka ile imani yako, huyu mtoto atakuja kunisaidia, huyu mtoto atakuja kunisaidia wakati huu wa uzee, lakini Mwenyezi Mungu anampatia mtihani mkubwa. Wanasema wa indama yablughu 90 au kariba min dhalik, alipokuwa amekaribia miaka 90 huyu mtume Ibrahim, yaamuruhu Allahu fil manam, Mwenyezi Mungu anamwamrisha mtume Ibrahim katika ndoto, an yadhbaha ibnahu hadha, kumchinja mtoto wake huyu. Fayastaiddu lidhabhi ibnahu alwahid amalan biruyahu harfiya, na alipopata ndoto kama ile akajiandaa vile ataweza kumchinja mtoto wake, kwa sababu hii ni ndoto, na ndoto kama hii ni amri kutoka kwa Mwenyezi Mungu Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Inasema wakadhalika dhaha sabiyul halim sahibul kalbi rashid warayu sadid. Huyu kijana wake Mwenyezi Mungu alimpatia hikma, ni kijana mdogo, lakini Mwenyezi Mungu alimruzuku hikma. Ibrahim kama yule, Mwenyezi Mungu anaelezea stori hii katika suratu Safati aya 102. Akaenda kwa mtoto wake akamwambia, ya bunayya inni ara fil manami anni adbahuk, ewe mwanangu, mimi nimeona katika ndoto na kuchinja. Yani anafikisha amri kama hii. Hii sio amri ndogo, ndugu zangu, ni amri mzito. Ibrahim mwenyewe huyu anajaribu anavyoweza, ni jambo zito sana, lakini anatoa habari kama hii kumwambia mtoto wake, mimi nimeona na kuchinja mwanangu katika usingizi. Fandhur madha tara, angalia unaona vipi. Sio kuwa anamuuliza maoni yake, lakini anamfikishia amri ya Mwenyezi Mungu. Lakini kijana kama yule, ndugu zangu Waislamu na wote wanaotazama, ni kijana kama nilivyosema, Mwenyezi Mungu alimpatia hikma. Kijana kama yule akakuwa tayari, akamwambia ya abatif almatumar, ewe babangu fanya ulivyoamrishwa, satajiduni insha Allahu minas sabirin, utanipata mimi ni katika wenye kusubiri. Mwenyezi Mungu akamwokoa huyu na akaweza kumteremsha kondoo badala ya kumchinja mtoto wake. Ndio ile aya tukimalizia, Mwenyezi Mungu anasema falamma aslama watallahu liljabin, alipokuwa tayari kumchinja huyu mtoto, Mwenyezi Mungu alimwambia aya Ibrahim, ewe Ibrahim, kad saddaqta ruya, hakika umeisadikisha hiyo ndoto, inna kadhalika najzi almuhsinin, hakika sisi tunawalipa wale wenye kufanya wema. Kwa hivyo ndugu zangu Waislamu, huu ni mtihani mwingine ambao Ibrahim alipatiwa na alikuwa tayari kutekeleza amri kama hii mzito kwa ajili ya Mwenyezi Mungu. Kwa hivyo yote ambayo tunapitia, tujue kuwa hatujafikia mitihani ya Ibrahim. Tunamuomba Mwenyezi Mungu atujalie ni wenye kusikia mema na kuyafuata, na wenye kusikia mabaya na kuyaepuka. Wa sallallahu ala sayidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wasahbihi wa barik wa sallim. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Baada ya kupata darsa kutoka kwa Sheikh Athman Lali, kwa sasa mtazamaji, tupate kusikiza katika makala ambayo tumekuandalia, makala ya Tarikhul Islam. Katika haki ambazo ni za Muislamu kwa Muislamu mwenzake, miongoni mwa zile haki tano, moja yao ni kuenda kumzika mwenzako akifariki. Je, unayenitazama, unafahamu hii mila ya kuzikana ilitokea wapi? Ili kupata ufahamu, tunarudi katika kisa cha watoto wa Adam na Hawa ambao wanajulikana kama Habil na Kabil. Baada ya Adam na Hawa kutolewa peponi na Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, walipokula lile tunda ambalo walikuwa wamekatazwa, wakashuka katika ardhi na wakaanza maisha yao. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala akawajalia watoto wawili wa kiume, mmoja Habil na mwingine ni Kabil. Adam na Hawa akawalea watoto hawa kimaadili mazuri, na kila mmoja akawa na ujuzi wake. Habil alikuwa ni mfugaji na Kabil naye alikuwa ni mkulima. Wakaendelea na maisha yao. Siku moja Adam akawaambia watoto wake watoe kafara kwa ajili ya Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Hivyo basi Habil akachukua kondoo wake na Kabil naye akachukua mazao yake kwa ajili ya kutoa kafara kwa Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Habil alitafuta kondoo ambaye ameshiba, mwenye afya na mzuri, huku naye Kabil akatafuta bidhaa kutoka shambani kwake ambazo kidogo zilikuwa na duni ya thamani. Hivyo basi Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala akachukua ile kafara ya Habil na akaiacha ya Kabil. Jambo hili lilimfanya Kabil akawa na hasira sana, akaanza chuki kupitia kwa ndugu yake. Akawa anajiuliza, kwa nini mimi kafara yangu imekataliwa lakini ya ndugu yangu imekubaliwa? Hapo ndio mwanzo chuki ikaanza kujengwa katika ardhi. Wao ndio walikuwa watu wa kwanza kuweza kushuhudia chuki baina ya watu wawili. Kutokana na hasira ile na chuki ile, Iblis akamwingia Kabil na kwa bahati mbaya akamtoa uhai ndugu yake Habil. Jambo ambalo lilikuwa ni jambo la kwanza katika historia ya Uislamu, kwamba ndiyo mauaji ya kwanza ya mwanadamu. Baada ya hapo Kabil akawa hajui afanye nini. Akawa anashangaa, huu mwili wa ndugu yangu ni upeleke wapi? Sawa, nishamuua, tutafanyaje? Ndipo Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala akateremsha ndege aina ya kunguru. Kulingana na riwaya, kunguru huyu alikuja na kunguru mwenzake ambaye alikuwa amekufa, akachimba chimba kwenye ardhi kutumia mdomo wake na akamzika yule mwenzake, ishara ya kumuonyesha Kabil kwamba amzike ndugu yake Habil. Hivyo basi Kabil akafanya hivyo, akachimba kaburi na akamzika ndugu yake Habil ambaye alikuwa amemuua kwa dhulma, kutokana na chuki ya kwamba kafara yake imechukuliwa na Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Hapo ndipo ikawa mwanzo wa wanadamu kuanza kuzikana iwapo mwanadamu anafariki. Hivyo basi mtazamaji, hii imekuwa ni hadithi ya watoto wa Adam na Hawa, yani Kabil na Habil. Natumai umejifunza na umeelewa hii sunna ya watu kwenda kuzikana imetokea wapi. Wa hadha, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Baada ya kukuletea makala ya Tarikhul Islam, mtazamaji, tupate mapumziko mafupi, lakini tutarejea na sehemu zaidi katika kipindi chako pendwa, kipindi cha Ukumbi wa Kiislamu.
Sasa unaweza kupokea stesheni ya KBC Eastern Service kwa njia iliyomurwa baada ya KBC kuboresha na kuwekeza mitambo mipya ya kisasa ya kupeperusha matangazo. Pata matangazo kwa lugha ya Burji kila siku kuanzia saa 11 asubuhi hadi saa 4 asubuhi. Rendile Service itakuwa hewani kuanzia saa 4 asubuhi hadi saa 9 jioni. Kisha matangazo kupitia lugha ya Kiborana itachukua usukani kuanzia saa 9 hadi saa 2 usiku. Kutufungia jamvi ni Turukana Service watakaopeperusha matangazo yao kuanzia saa 2 usiku hadi saa 6 usiku. KBC Eastern Service inapatikana Lodwar na maeneo yaliyo karibu kupitia 98.3 FM. Na kwa wasikilizaji wa Burji, Rendile na Borana waliomo Marsabit na maeneo jirani, KBC Eastern Service inapatikana kwa mita bendi 98.7 FM.
Mtazamaji, shukran sana kwa kusalia papa hapa ndani ya KBC Channel 1. Karibu katika sehemu ya pili ya ukumbi wa Kiislamu. Katika sehemu ya kwanza tulikuwa naye Sheikh Athman Lali ambaye alituelezea mengi kuhusiana na kuweza kufanya mambo ya kufanya kabla ya kutekeleza ibada ya kuchinja. Tumetoka katika mwezi wa Dhulhijja ambapo watu wengi walikuwa wakifanya ibada za kuchinja. Je, ni mambo gani ambayo tunapaswa sisi kama Waislamu kuweza kuyazingatia? Kwa sasa mtazamaji, tupate nashidi ya wiki.
ألا ما رأينا مثل طفل يتيم فتى من قريش منصف ورحيم. ألا ما رأينا مثل طفل يتيم فتى قريش منصف ورحيم. فمن حبه بالصدق نال شفاعة. فمن حبه بالصدق نال شفاعة فقد خصبوا الله بخلق عظيم. شفاء لدائه بجاه الحبيب نور البحر العميم. به يحصل الآني شفاء لدائه بجاه الحبيب نور البحر العميم. فبشرى المصطفى فبشراك فبشر يا محبا لمصطفى بنيل العطايا بنيل العطايا بنيل العطايا بنيل العطايا والندى من كريم فقد خصه الله بخلق عظيم ألا ما رأينا مثل طفل يتيم
Bila shaka mtazamaji, ni nashidi nzuri yenye kuburudisha na kupumbaza roho. Kwa sasa mtazamaji, baada ya kupata nashid, tuweze kusikiza kisomo cha Qur'an na hadithi kutoka kwa wanafunzi.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ismi Joel Marjan min Markaz Riyadus Salihin. Na naenda kuwatolea hutuba kuhusu birrul walidain. Alhamdulillahi alladhi amara bit-tawasi wa tanasuhi bainal mu'minina al-qaili wa qada rabbuka alla ta'budu illa iyyahu wa bil walidaini ihsana. Wassalatu wassalam ala sayyidil mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajmain, amma ba'd. Ana alwaqifu amamakum waladun min auladikum وقفت لأشنف مسامعكم خطبة عنوانها بر الوالدين. أيها الحفل العلمي الكريم، الوالدان بابان من أبواب الجنة، إن رضي عنك مضيت إلى الجنة، وإن سخطا حجبت عنك الجنة ومضيت إلى النار. قال عليه الصلاة والسلام: رضا ربي في رضا الوالدين وسخطه في سخطهما. أيها المباركون، فبر الوالدين من أعظم الأعمال عند الله تبارك وتعالى وأحبها إليه. قال عبد الله بن مسعود رضي الله عنه: سألت النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أي الأعمال أحب إلى الله عز وجل؟ فقال الصلاة على وقتها. قلت ثم أي؟ قال بر الوالدين. قلت ثم أي؟ قال الجهاد في سبيل الله. سادتنا الكرام، لقد أوصى تبارك وتعالى بحسن صحبتهما ولطف معاملاتهما ولو كان الكافرين. فقال تعالى: وإن جاهدك على أن تشرك بي ما ليس لك به علم فلا تطعهما وصاحبهما في الدنيا معروفا. وإن جاهدك أيها الإنسان والدك على أن تشرك به فلا تطعهما فيما أرادك عليه من شرك بالله. ثم قال: وصاحبهما في الدنيا معروفا. أحسن إليه مع أنهما يأمرني بالكفر ويأمرني بالشرك بالله. صدق الله العظيم.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. اسمي سلوى بنت حسن من مركز رياض الصالحين. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. تبت يدا أبي لهب وتب ما أغنى عنه ماله وما كسب سيصلى نارا ذات لهب وامرأته حمالة الحطب في جيدها حبل من مسد.
Baada ya kupata kisomo cha Qur'an na hadithi kutoka kwa wanafunzi, ni matumaini yangu na wenzangu ambao tumeandaa kipindi kama hichi ya kwamba umefaidika mtazamaji wetu na umejikumbusha kwa yale ambao ulikuwa umeyasahau, na uweze kutuombea Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala azidi kutubariki. Na wewe pia shukrani mtazamaji kwa kuangalia kipindi hichi kutoka mwanzo hadi mwisho. Nimekuwa wako Alishia, tupatane wiki nyingine papa hapa ndani ya KBC.
It's broken again? I'm so bored. When is Forbidden City Monster Talk gonna have some real news? Big news?
7 years. You're finally here.
Strange. Where is it? Found it. This is... looks like Monster Talk. We'll finally have some good news.
The gem has reemerged. Things are picking up again.
Everyone, hold your props straight. This way.
Whoa, check out the glazed tile.
What about it?
Exquisite.
Hurry up, you two.
Coming, President.
President, we're coming. Careful, or you're going to mess up the sedan.
It's falling apart, President.
President, it's falling apart. Wait for me.
Look at these glazed bricks. They're wonderful. And check out the dragon up there. It looks real.
Hurry, guys. We made it to Tang Gate. Let's turn left.
To the left, to the left.
All right. While traveling through Jiangnan, Emperor Qianlong dreamt of a cypress tree in the imperial garden. He could never stop longing for that tree, so he ordered his men to find it.
Majesty, your servant has searched far and wide, and I finally found the tree of your dreams.
Ah, this is the tree here.
Clang, clang, clang. Majesty, see this tree's peculiar shape? It's like an umbrella. Nice and round, strong and sturdy. Li Xiaoyu, sorry. Li Xiaoyu, let's continue. Majesty, look at this tree.
What's the tree?
President,
Why did we come all the way here just for rehearsal?
seriously,
Couldn't we just practice at home?
there's no AC here.
I want the show to be immersive. You need to be here to find your character's soul. The drama festival is coming, so let's give it all our best. Back to rehearsal. Majesty, see this tree's peculiar shape? It's like an umbrella.
Where are you taking me?
The things that I go through just for a headline. And now it's here to help you.
Hey, hold on, Deb. Stop dragging me.
Like they say, look out! How's the tip?
Not your day, huh?
You hurt?
Are you okay? I'm fine. This costume's a rental.
What do we do?
What more can we do? Rehearsal's canceled.
Listen, just now, Li Hua, I can repair it. I'm sorry.
Look, it's not your fault. I'll take you to the clinic.
Hey, here. I got you. I got you.
Got you.
Careful.
Careful.
Hey, not so fast. Careful now.
Yeah, slow down. Watch the step.
Careful.
Dear visitors, the Palace Museum will be closing in just 30 minutes. Be sure to exit on time. Dear visitors, the Palace Museum will be closing in just 30 minutes. Be sure to exit on time.
Li Hua?
really...
A human?
How did they get here? Is that you? It's really you! How'd you get here? You know me? Of course I do! See? I eat everything you leave! Are you Leela? Bingo! You talk? Where are we? It's Spirit Realm! Spirit Realm!
Don't run! Human.
The scarlet trees have flowered, bathing in the warm sunshine, filling our hearts with joy. Summer nights are long, the moon was just me falling asleep. I have been missing you in my dreams. I long to see you, to travel back in time, to relive the good times we had together. I want to tell you all the things I have imagined, all the things I have liked. Look, the cat is lounging in a sunny spot. The past has been gradually forgotten. The stories are still being told. The smell of the flowering crab apples lingers in the air, hidden behind the glazed yellow tiles. The world is being lit up slowly.
Don't be afraid of trouble. Together, let's explore the magical library. Open a book, turn the page. Knowledge is still very best companion.
Lord, but spirits in the south seas, I will commend the Parkland mission. She was a bird that our friends rush for forth, fast as lightning.
Hey kids, let's get ready to launch. Quick, for the magic book share. Time to start a great knowledge class. Don't let the trouble stop you. Together, let's explore the magic library. Open a book, turn the page. Knowledge is still very best companion.
The Magic Library.
Power up, the Wonder Squad! Legend has it that there is a magical library. It soars, it burrows with endless forms. Now, on its snowy mountain summit, then deep in the ocean's depths, some say a big gremlin lives there, and others believe it houses an all-knowing immortal. And the very key thing is, ever since writing began, every book has been collected there. The books here cover everything, full of powerful magic. Ah! Turbo rollers! Wu Tian Tian? Oops. I'm sorry. Wu Tian Tian, can you just pay attention?
Our plant handbook isn't finished yet. As planned...
Oh, Xiaoyu, this vacation I was gonna be a superhero catching bad guys. And now I'm stuck making a plant handbook.
Superhero? We really should get the break project done. Our topic of study for today is bamboo. We know it pretty well. Bamboo is...
More than familiar. Bamboo starts as a shoot. Many great dishes we can make out of it. Fried shoots and bacon, rib stew with bamboo, shoot soup, shoots with tofu, braised pork with shoots.
Papa, you're late.
Me? Because I had to prepare the food. Check it out. I brought so much. Enough for all 4 of us.
Huh? 4? Where's Dahai?
Dahai? He's probably still home with his pile of butt. It hurts. Dahai, what are you doing hiding in the bushes?
I'm learning best by being right in the environment. Bamboo, a perennial plant of the Bambusoideae subfamily that grows fast. The fastest growing plant in the world, growing 30 centimeters a day. Bamboo is quite...
30 centimeters a day? That's not fast. If I were a plant, I could grow 100 centimeters a day.
100 centimeters is 1 meter.
I know that.
Bamboo is quite resilient, often growing in patches with rhizomes underground.
Not listening, not listening. Dahai's chancing.
Wu Tiantian! You brought my notes!
Hey, help me. You can just copy it over.
Not here. Not here either. Where have they gone?
Can't catch me. Blah, blah, blah.
Cut!
Superhero Wu Tiantian, power up! Power up! Power up!
I got you.
Run! Who are you now? Run for?
Missing book spirit detected. Missing book spirit detected.
Oh no, oh no, oh no.
Chill out. We gotta make a plan.
Just some bamboo trying to cage me, Wu Tiantian? Kind of pathetic.
Help me!
Stop up! Hold on! I'm coming!
If you ask me, the fresh bamboo is bendy, simple to snap.
Now is not the time for your wisdom, guy.
Listen up, guys. I got an idea. We'll use the bamboo's bounce to prop open a little moving space.
Then we can slowly move ourselves out. Thanks. What's that thing, huh?
A frog? A rabbit?
A gremlin! Is this... Really gremlins in the world! My turn at last! Superhero Wu Tiantian is here! Ha ha ha!
gonna give them a present. When you're in trouble, just open a book. Open up. Activate transmission.
Superhero Wu Tian, power up!
Lightning speed punch.
I'm stronger. Is this power gloves?
That's impossible. Huh?
What is this?
Where's this watch from? Huh?
What's going on?
How did this happen?
It's for real. Wait. Seriously, I'm superheroes now!
Invincible shield.
What is this? More bouncy than my tummy.
Supervision visor.
I'm seeing tons of data. There's information for everything. Huh? Whoa!
What?
Just listen. Bamboo roots grow sideways, with many rootlets and buds connected down below the ground. That little gremlin is hopping on the roots.
Turbo rollers.
I won't let you get away!
Yeah. Magic rainbow orb.
Magic rainbow orb!
Got the little nose gremlin!
Oh, well, look at that.
You put us in a lot of danger, and we didn't cry. Why are you crying? Huh? What are you trying to say?
Brains, bravery, and teamwork. You're the Wonder Squad.
Who's there?
Are you ready for the challenge? Welcome to the Magic Library.
Bamboo is the fastest growing plant in the world. Some of them can grow a meter overnight. Its roots spread sideways underground. When the stem grows horizontally to a point, they start to grow down. Some of the roots will grow brand new bamboo. Sometimes the roots for a whole bunch of bamboo can all be connected to each other.
Get ready for a captivating continental football extravaganza. KBC Channel 1 brings you exclusive coverage of the 2026 Women's Africa Cup of Nations, WAFCON. From Sunday the 26th of July to Sunday the 16th of August 2026, welcome to Morocco is the battleground as Nigeria defend their title against 15 other nations fighting to lift the prestigious trophy. Who will be crowned Queens of African Football? Courtesy of the Ministry of Youth Affairs, Creative Economy and Sports. Watch all the action unraveling on KBC Channel 1, your true sports partner.
Well, in the midfield of the midfield. A little bit of a mistake there. Is this the chance? Manga. Well, she thought something might be on there, and Gamanga. Cameroon patiently trying to pick that lock.
We are going to separate facts from myths. We will discuss the importance of early diagnosis and genotyping. We will also hear first-hand stories of resilience from people living with this condition.
Bank on management. So this means, number one, taking the medication as Daktari has said, but also there are things you can do at home, such as our nutrition. We need to take a lot of foods high in iron phosphates. For example, mboga kienyeji. Also, you find even in rural and urban areas, we manage ourselves even with some things such as herbs. There are some herbs that truly help us even with our organs and even keeping our, like for example, iron levels high.
Preventive measures is prevent the reoccurrence of sickle cell by doing gene testing.
The gene testing,
that is
of course.
Two. One. So two, those who are already having sickle cell, they are born of sickle cell. What are these preventive measures that we want to take in place so that we reduce the chances of complications, we reduce the chances of hospitalization and recurrent infections.
You can get to see from different warriors and hear their stories, even the stories of caregivers. So I think together we can be able to achieve a lot and at least support each other.
Pull up the vibe, getting
Feeling my flow. A girl from Hooded, they buying, ready to go on, yeah.
Hello, hello, nimekuja na tangazo.
Hapo tu. Stop, staki kusikia.
Let you know.